Let's not waste any time. You saw the title of the video. Here are the questions. Let's go. Opinions on Nico Leonard and his new watch. From the top, I was excited, but from the side, way too thick. While the watch is not for me, I'm glad to see Maen put out a different silhouette. Finally. You can only wear one brand for life, but get free watches, no reselling. Would you do it? Which brand? Moser. Yeah. That was really easy. As a brand, yes, Moser. What is a hot take you have for watches? I think I'll do a whole video. If I ever do say what I'm thinking, I will have to do a whole video to explain myself because it could wildly be taken out of context. I think in like 5 to 10 years, China may dominate the watch space. Now that is based on the fact that most of your favorite Swiss brands are involving China in their assembly or manufacturing at some point anyway. You're just too stuck up to, okay. No. You're just too in denial to see that. But I bump into people at watch events more and more who either say I inspired them to buy a Chinese watch, or they recently got into it and realized they were so wrong about this idea that they had of it being poor quality. And I think as those Chinese brands push further and further and further, and people realize that the cost that you pay for branding and history is worth less and less and less, it just makes sense to me that China will start to dominate and Swiss will start to regress. What got you into watches and what's your ultimate grail? This is kind of a long story, but my whole exposure to watches before I got into them was like rap music videos I used to watch as a kid, and it would have been big, huge, iced out watches that didn't fit and hung down off the like palm of your hand. And so when I became an adult, I just thought watches didn't suit me, because when I did buy one or two, they were, as you could expect, very blingy, loud, huge, and I didn't know how to wear them. Then one day I was watching a video about like business or entrepreneurship, and as enthralling as the video was, I couldn't stop staring at the guy's wrist. And I was like, how could a watch look so good? And then I stumbled across a video that was like 5 watch rules. I think the number one rule I took from it is that you shouldn't be wearing your watch on your like wrist bone, but it should be behind it. So then I bought a £20 Seconda just to test it, and it didn't look horrible. So I was like, this might be for me. And then from £20 Secondas, as the story is for all of us, it got way out of hand. And now I have a YouTube channel, Instagram, TikTok, and I'm building my own watch brand. Your most meaningful watch in your collection. Ooh, meaningful. Let me take a look. Hold on. Okay, I found 3. First one is this Elgin. So this Elgin is special to me because I got it when I went to Chen's in New York City. That's where I met Ben's watches. We had an awesome time, and conversations with Ben helped me to realize that I'm doing pretty well. And despite the hate, I should keep going. Next is this watch build I did myself. I've been meaning to do a video on it for a year now, but I am that much of a procrastinator. I still haven't done it. Very proud of it. It's the first watch I ever made myself, obviously with AliExpress parts, but you know, I assembled it myself. And then third was this Seiko burnt orange. It was my first diver, and I think it's special to me because I hate divers, and I think my hatred for divers couldn't have been stronger when I bought this, but I still remember the reaction I had the first time I saw a diver I liked. Seiko Sumo Green. No, don't like divers. Although to be fair, that actually does look really nice. I hate divers, but that color combo, that looks really good. This might be like a moment in history. The day Kim started looking at divers, you went through all 5 stages of emotions when you saw the diver. That is true. Because if you followed me before, you know, when I say I hate divers, it's not like a little quirk for content. Like I don't like looking at them. All diver watches all look the same. I'm just not a fan. This makes me sick. I hate divers watches so much, I got this engraved on my latest purchase. sadly, these are the kind of watches that get all the attention. Like, for that suggestion, oh my goodness, I'm looking at it again. It got me blushing. Let's vote. Which looks better, this or this? I cannot believe I'm looking for a Seiko diver. This is nuts. This is history, guys. Ooh, this one is nice. Oh no, what have you done, Evans? Oh no, this one actually looks good. Oh no, character development. And this was not the first, but the second. Anything stood out from Watches and Wonders? No, just no. Opinions on watch collectors, hobbyists who go watchless day to day. When I'm at home, I'm pretty much watchless most of the time. Going out without one, since I got into watches, is kind of rare for me. My whole thing since I got into this is just like no judgment. If you like collecting watches, but you only want to wear one on special occasions or as a tool to do certain activities, then it's your money. So I don't really have an opinion on that. Like for me, I have sensory issues, so I don't like certain things touching me. So tiny things like rings, watches, socks, those kind of things can bother me, especially if I'm wearing them all day long. Is there any watch in the world that you'd give up your whole collection for? No. I've been asked this many times. I think it comes from a place where people often think that I've bought affordable watches out of ignorance, and they don't realize that 2 years on, I'm still wearing watches I bought 2 years ago. They're still in the rotation. I will wear my Grand Seiko, and then the next day I will wear my Moon Swatch, and then my PRX, and then my Veneziana Co, and then my Timex. For me, my entry point into watches is more aesthetics and fashion. So I value variation in a collection more than I value one go anywhere, do anything. I don't believe there is a go anywhere, do anything. So I will always need a watch for this and a watch for that and a watch for that. And I'm definitely someone that likes to express myself through my clothing and things like that. Black or blue dials? I would say blue, just because black is like a lack of color, and I love color in the things I wear. And I think it depends as well on what the texture of that dial is. A black, flat, plain dial, never. But if the dial is textured or sunburst or whatever, I would consider it. But blue will always, I think, overtake because it's a color. I don't think I own any black dial watches.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would.
A watch you love but would never buy? I don't know. There are things I've achieved that I never thought I would. And so even a Patek or a Nautilus or whatever, as far from my reach as they seem now, I think I would only do myself a disservice by telling myself I would never get one. So to me, I'm like, unless it's a watch that costs $1 million, and even then, who knows? A lot of millionaires never thought they would be millionaires. Like, I could come up with some little watch gadget that changes the industry tomorrow, and then the Nautilus becomes a little Casio for me. So I don't know. Best watch under $300. Could not answer that without knowing anything about your taste. I get this question way too often. I don't know if you like dressy, if you like sport, if you like integrated bracelets, if you like straps, if you like, you know, divers. Best watch under 300 is different for a lot of people. Should first-time buyers go to AliExpress or stick with the more well-known options? I think first-time buyers should start very low. Regardless, I genuinely think it doesn't matter, but you should start low in your budget. If you're somebody that makes average salary and you have maybe £100 a month that you can save, I would start with a Casio and then move up to Timex and then move up to Citizen and then move up to Tissot and then move up whatever. I don't think it's possible to know what you're gonna like until you start wearing watches and trying them out in different ways. I'm still finding things that I like wearing versus what I saw on the internet. So I would say, don't save up $3,000 for your first watch and then buy it and be disappointed. Especially when you know you probably bought it because it had this huge brand name behind it and you thought it would make you cool. What's the one AliExpress watch you would buy if you are buying your first watch from China? It would be this purple dial. I did a video on it. I think In my 45 plus watch collection, I don't think it will ever leave my top 5, even though it costs like 80 quid. And I have a Grand Seiko. What watch do you want for your wedding? Probably my watch. Yeah, what a way to announce that I've been building a watch brand for about 6 months. It's all over on my other platforms. Follow me there to actually see updates. But if I get married and I still haven't made a wedding appropriate watch by then, it would probably be a Seiko Presage of some sort. My wedding watch has to be dressy but fun. And I think the Seiko Presage brings that for me because it's dressy and it's also very colorful. What is the best holiday watch ever made? Holiday watch. Okay, holiday, you'd want something light and something universal. You'd want it waterproof as well. I wouldn't wear a luxury one because I'd be afraid to do any activities wearing it. Good power reserve. Probably a Tissot PRX, Powermatic, blue dial on a rubber strap. Very important. But the rubber strap would get sweaty. I don't know, you know. We'll save it for next time. Most overrated watch brand. When I first started my journey collecting watches and creating content about it, I wasn't really a fan of Seiko and Grand Seiko, and I used to get a lot of hate. In the last 2 years, I have now begun to understand more of why those brands make good watches, and I think a lot of that comes from the value for money. Now I would say, yes, I'm a fan of those two brands. And when I look back on those opinions I had, I can see why they were just kind of flat out wrong in some ways. But now that I know how to fully research a brand and look at all of their legacy pieces, as it were, Rolex and Tudor and Breitling, I think, are over defended and therefore overrated. All you have to do is say they're not for you. You're finished in the comment sections. Why isn't Frederique Constant a bigger brand? I think because a lot of watch people are only ever confident to buy a watch if they know that millions of other people can sign off on it. And because Frederique Constant does not have the same level of history, I think a lot of people are afraid to be the first people to say they like the brand. My turn off personally was that the first watch I was interested in from them was the Slimline. From that kind of range, I realized that a lot of their designs were Breguet inspired. And I now understand a couple of years later that yes, a lot of watch brands start with homages and then build their own proprietary things later. And I think they're still in that stage. I think that's everything. Thanks for the questions. You guys sent them over from Instagram. Go and follow me there to see like stories I post. I post like every day on there. Same with TikTok. Both are in the description. And as usual, have a great rest of the day.